Thanks so much for joining me on Twitter, X, on YouTube, on Facebook. Anytime you need us, we're at capitalweathergang.com. I'm happy to talk and answer your questions, your comments about the week ahead. Clouds are kind of the main weather story, but slowly temperatures creep upwards. Rain chances shouldn't bother us if you're bothered by rain chances. Generally, this work week looks pretty darn dry, if not fully dry, other than a few stray shower chances. And we'll talk about precipitation and look ahead for the next week to 10 days. Good evening, David. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com, my latest PM update forecast at CWG.news/latest. And of course, we're at CapitalWeatherGang.com anytime you need us, 24/7. Clouds generally dominate until the middle part of the week when we finally start getting back toward average high temperatures near or around 70 degrees. I think Thursday has the best chance to be the nicest day of the week. Carol, thanks so much for tuning in from Facebook. Maria, hello to you as well. Let me make sure I've caught up on all the comments on Twitter as well. Perfect. All right, so let's talk about wind being a little bit of a nuisance today, should be less so tomorrow. So the good news is if you didn't like 30 mile per hour wind gusts today, you should have merely 20 mile per hour wind gusts once, maybe twice for your start of your work week on Monday. Temperatures are a little bit on the cool side and below average to start the work week, but we do get toward pretty nice, average, comfortable air by the middle part of this week. We could even, I think, see 70 degrees or higher Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's a little bit in play. So we'll have to watch those cloud levels, which I am indeed doing. I think we do have on and off clouds. Sometimes the clouds pictured here in the blue do dominate through the middle part of the week. I think Thursday there at the end of this animation with the white coloring, that's indicating clear skies. That really should produce, I think, maybe the nicest, warmest, sunniest day of the week on Thursday. Behind the clouds, precipitation, not really an issue. A stray shower Monday and Tuesday are possible. Wednesday, Thursday are the highest chance to stay dry. Those 2 days could be dry. Friday, maybe Saturday, some showers are again possible. Maybe a quick period of light rain here or there, but I will assure you, since I know a lot of you, despite the needing of the rain in the region, are annoyed at the timing of the rain on our weekends. So here's the good news. If you have plans Friday, Saturday, it's pretty light. Friday, Saturday is kind of the main focus of this amount of rain, around a third of an inch perhaps for our rains total on Friday and Saturday. Maybe a stray shower again into Sunday as well, but I just want to emphasize right now, subject to change as we get closer to the weekend, rain amounts look pretty darn light. Not good news for a rainfall deficit, right? We need an inch, maybe 2 inches in the darker yellow just to make up and break even for the last 2 weeks. And the drought continues. This is longer term rainfall deficits piling on longer term rainfall deficits. A very negative hydrological cycle has developed in the Shenandoah Valley, northern Blue Ridge area, the mountain valleys of Virginia. We do need several inches of rain to make up for things there. But let me pause for a second, remind you we're on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Share these links, these shortened links, with your friends and family. Latest forecast, my PM update at CWG.news/latest. My PM update, really just talking about a stray shower or two for tomorrow, but winds decrease. Clouds, I think, kind of bubble up again tomorrow afternoon, but enjoy the morning sun tomorrow. That's kind of a positive. Maria, hello. Thanks for tuning in from Facebook. Peter, good to see you. Mary, thanks for tuning in from Charlestown and on Facebook. Preston, good evening. First frost, first freeze, and maybe first snow. I'm going to maybe not tell you first snow is going to happen until December, maybe January, as it looks now, but I'm happy to talk about first frosts and freezes because I think we're getting there. November in the yellows for along and east of I-95 generally. So there's plenty of time for gardeners and farmers still to harvest and not worry about frosts or freezes just yet. But for a harder freeze, which this map indicates, kind of the average median date is for, in the lighter greens, we're coming up upon kind of middle to late October. So you'll see the National Weather Service put out frost and harder killing freeze advisories as we get further into the fall season here. But the good news is not imminent, not anywhere in the forecast just yet. In fact, temperatures are maybe leaning above average even through next work week. But I will caution you, the averages do come down as we get deeper into October. Right now, average high temperatures for the start of this work week, 70 degrees. By the time we're looking at this map for the start of next work week, average high temperatures come back down to 67 degrees. So we're losing our average high temperature warmth pretty quickly as we get into the end of October. Tropics Rick, let's take a look at that. Tropical depression Sean is dissipating as it looks now. One more Cape Verde system, Cabo Verde Islands there, off to the northeast of this system. High likelihood of developing in the next 7 days, that red X, as it moves west northwestward. That would be Tropical Storm Tammy if it does turn into at least a tropical storm as it heads toward the Leeward Islands. If you have interest there, it's worth watching to see if, with the high likelihood of this developing into at least a tropical depression, the next name storm would be Tammy, and then Vince, and then Whitney. And then another supplemental name list will come into play from the World Meteorological Organization if we keep going at this pace as we end hurricane season November 30th. And get past this second and final peak of typical hurricane and tropical storm activity in the Atlantic for mid-October, things should quiet down. All right, let me make sure I've caught up on comments there. Alan is done with the cold and rain. You want the warmth back on. At least we're leaning above average for temperatures next work week for you there, Alan. So hopefully you like that a little bit. And then for rain, I'm going to give you bad news, David, that next work week we're leaning below average for precipitation as well, I'm sorry to say. Michael just got back from Massachusetts. Let's talk foliage. You saw higher color there than when you came back home to DC. It is still in the higher elevations in the mid-Atlantic, but if you can wait till very late October and early November along and east of I-95, the color will slowly progress toward lower elevations and getting toward the east for the lower elevations. Winter Outlook Tyler is usually issued closer to Thanksgiving. We'll keep you posted, of course, at capitalweathergang.com. It's been issued as early as Halloween a while ago, but typically we wait for all the data to come in closer to Thanksgiving. Ruth Elisa, no chance of thunderstorms that I've seen on Monday, so hope you have a good flu shot. Excellent. Let's see. David, you're getting yours tomorrow. Excellent. And let's see. We've got Mary from Charlestown. Thanks again for tuning in. And hey, Paul, Northeast Pennsylvania foliage has been very light still. Yes, it is typical for around I-95 corridor. We need until sometimes early November. I think it's a hair slower than average this year, but not much. We'll catch up. Temperatures will get cooler. Days are getting shorter. That also stresses the chlorophyll, so the green chlorophyll does eventually reveal colors. Just, shorter days can't be denied, even if the weather changes just a little bit some of the schedule for the fall colors as we get into later fall. All right, earlier and earlier sunsets mean you're talking to me early and earlier, a nice even number, 6:30 p.m. tonight for our weekly Sunday sunset chats. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. We're on Facebook, X, and YouTube. There's our short links if you care to share them with your friends and family. And my pollen update, I think some weeds are bothering me a little bit this weekend, but overall, fellow allergy sufferers, we have pretty good times here with low, amounts across the board with trees, with spores, with weeds, with grass. All right. Ooh, Maria, you've gotten all your shots today. Excellent. I hope you are all right for the, good side effects tomorrow potentially, if you get a good immune response. And Lori, the leaves were much more vibrant in DC last year this time than what we're seeing now. I think we had a better recipe last year of rains that then turned into a drier, mid-fall, and that is kind of better for overall color, but we'll see. We still have time for some of the colors to reveal themselves, Lori, but I love your observations. All right, I appreciate all of you tuning in, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'm on the air another 10 minutes or so, it looks like. So we're halfway through our weekly Sunday sunset chat. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest forecast at a glance down here for you. Kind of a cool, fairly cloudy start with a stray shower for our work week on Monday and Tuesday. That's how we start the work week. Wednesday, Thursday look dry, getting a little warmer, maybe near and above 70 perhaps. And I think the nicest day could be Thursday. Friday, clouds really start coming in, maybe some showers that spill into Saturday as well. I think there's a chance Sunday maybe has more sunshine than clouds with just a stray shower, but we'll keep you posted as confidence gets higher as we get closer to the weekend at capitalweathergang.com. Let's see. Lewis, all okay. I appreciate your concern. And Paul, 0.6 inches of rain in the past week. I hope you get more than that, but yeah, the grass is probably feeling it, and no, it's not making much a dent there in the drought, Paul, but let's check that out really quick because it's worth reviewing Rainfall deficits in the last 2 weeks, just to break even in the yellows, we need at least an inch of rain, at least a half inch of rain. And in the darker yellows there in the central Shenandoah Valley, down near Harrisonburg, Charlottesville, we need about almost 2 inches of rain just to break even for what we should have gotten in the last 2 weeks worth of rain. Longer term, you add the rain deficits together weeks and months over months for the negative hydrological cycle, that is kind of just, we can't fill in the hole. On the longer term scale, over months, that's where this drought is still persisting. In northwestern Virginia, in the Mountain Valley region of Virginia, we've got up to a severe drought. A D2 is known as a severe drought in the darker oranges there. So you are not imagining things, farmers and gardeners, as we get toward the end of the growing season. It's been tough for you. You've had to use a lot of water. And here it is, the latest forecast, and all the social media channels we're on tonight from CapitalWeatherGang.com. I'm Camden Walker. Thanks for joining on our weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. I think I've caught up on all your comments, so let's make sure we check out the next look ahead, further ahead for precipitation. Kind of unfortunately, for those wanting the rain, we need the rain. We're leaning below average for precipitation next work week. Temperatures are leaning above average for next work week, so as averages this week at 70 degrees go down to 67 degrees for an average high temperature at DC's area airports. This, keep it as the benchmark lowers. Keep in mind when you see that we're leaning above average, it might not necessarily be warm every day, but 70 degrees could still be in play for next work week as well. We were talking about first frosts and freezes. Yellows indicate November timeframes generally along and east of I-95. And later October, is coming up for a climatological average first freeze in the lighter greens in parts of our region as well. Remember, some of this reflects being near urban centers. Larger bodies of water are typically warmer than surrounding areas, so keep that in mind as well. Tropics, we are checking in on that. Where tropical depression Sean has crossed off our S there. It's dissipating slowly after being a tropical storm, I believe, this weekend. Next named storm would be Tammy, and we do have that X right there. The red X indicates a high likelihood in the next 7 days that we see a tropical storm develop out of that disturbance as it heads toward the Leeward Islands. That would be Tropical Storm Tammy. Charlene, you need some rain for that garlic that you just planted and barley. That's really cool. Excellent. Let's see. We've got Michael. We did cover the annular eclipse at CapitalWeatherGang.com this past weekend. Let's see, next year it is not in DC, but if you can go northwest of town toward Ohio, might be a fairly quick drive to get the closest totality for next year. Foliage is getting a little bit closer to the middle Piedmont elevations of our region, but still generally high color and peak color is kind of stuck in the highest elevations. But as we get into early November, it will definitely come to lower eastward elevations of our region. And we've got an outdoor wedding on Saturday, Nova forecast. Mary, I think, let's look at that forecast at a glance. Showers are possible on Saturday, but I think it will be, mild enough not to be too bad for a wedding as it stands now, subject to change. It looks better than we did at this point when I talked to you on Monday for Columbus Indigenous Peoples Day last Monday. The upcoming weekend that we just experienced, that had a higher rain signal than what I'm seeing for this upcoming weekend. And here's some more good news. Even if I show you the precipitation animation, again, straight shower Monday, Tuesday, dry Wednesday, Thursday. Showers Friday, Saturday are possible, but I think you can see it moves out quickly. Rain amounts are pretty darn low for Friday and Saturday. So Mary, I think you've got a pretty good shot, even if there's some passing showers. Look, if you're seeing maybe a third of an inch of rain between Friday and Saturday alone, we're talking very brief showers, fast-moving showers, so don't write off the weekend, especially Saturday, just yet. I know the timing stinks for some of us, and we need more rain in the region for the drought-stricken areas west of town, especially with the rainfall deficit persisting. Even in the last 2 weeks, an inch or two is needed just to get back to even. And here are the drought areas. Again, we need the rain, not in the forecasts as it looks, and now to dent or get rid of this drought. But we'll watch it for you at CapitalWeatherGang.com as we go deeper into fall, which typically can be a dry period in the DC area. All right, I've caught up on Twitter comments. Let's see, Facebook, YouTube, I think I've caught up on. Good, Paul, the grass is greener. A little bit of sun angle with it being lower helps. reduce the evapotranspiration rate. Indeed, we need a little bit less going forward to keep up with the rainfall deficits. It requires less to fill in the rainfall deficits this time of year. That's, of course, very smart, yes. And then, let's see. Good, Maria, I'm glad you're feeling all right. I hope your next couple days go fine enough. And I think, let me know if I've missed anything. I'm on the air another 4 minutes or so. Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Anytime you need us, we're at the blog there. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest, my PM update. Stray shower possible Monday and again maybe Tuesday, but overall we're just talking about, roving cloud cover. It's a cool start to the week, but less breeze tomorrow will help you feel maybe a little bit more enjoyable fall weather for tomorrow as compared to today. I'm on Facebook, X, and YouTube right now. Share those shortened links with your friends and your family. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you from CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thanks for joining on our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. Looking ahead to next work week, just to give you a look ahead and general signals from the atmosphere. Precipitation leaning below average for next work week as well, which isn't great for our rainfall deficit and drought in the western parts of our area, especially. Leaning above average with slight probability for next work week in the temperature category. Keep in mind our benchmarks for what average is. It's going down from 70 for an average high this week in DC to 67 applies to this map, 67 for a high temperature next week. First frost and freezes not on the imminent picture just yet. Not coming up, no frost and freeze advisories are issued. But I want you to keep in mind we're getting toward the season of the first freezes. Later October in the light greens and November timeframe in the yellows, kind of darker and lighter yellows there. Generally, we'll have plenty of warning and it's not in the forecast just yet, but I want gardeners and farmers to be thinking ahead. And hurricane names, we're getting down those lists. Tammy would be our next named storm. Sean there is a tropical depression in the central Atlantic, but that red X indicates we could see in the next 7 days a developing storm as it heads toward the Leeward Islands. That would be Tropical Storm Tammy. Hey Karen, thanks so much for tuning in from Facebook. Twitter, I appreciate you turning in. Oh, well, I've got 56 on Twitter. Thanks so much for tuning in. Evapotranspiration rates are lower, Paul, this time of year, when the plants are sucking up less water for their transpiration needs from the soil, and there's lower evaporation needs, lower evaporation quotient being evaporated from the topsoil thanks to a lower sun angle this time of year. It's weaker, and thus we are not requiring as much rain to fill in these rainfall deficits, but merely in the last 2 weeks we need an inch, maybe up to 2 inches in the darker yellow there in the central Shenandoah Valley just to keep up with where we should be, break-even levels on the rainfall deficits. And of course, drought, I just always want to point out, west of town, still feeling it. The D2 level is a severe drought west of town. Foliage, well, it might be helped, a little bit stressed in the higher elevations from some of the dry conditions. I'm not sure there'll be glistening bright colors, but at least as we get toward early November, typically as we get toward early November, the Beltway along and east of I-95, we can enjoy more colors as it moves east and lower into lower elevations away from the highest elevations as it stands now. Yes, we're a little bit behind in the colors, but we will get there. All right, so I think Facebook, X, and YouTube, I appreciate seeing all of you live, simulcasting to live on all 3 of our social media channels there. We'll be a little bit earlier next week. We've now got an even 6:30 p.m. sunset tonight. You'll speak to me several minutes earlier next week for our weekly Sunday sunset chat. Allergy sufferers, you might feel like me, maybe weeds are kind of low medium instead of just low, but overall a pretty good allergy picture with spores, grass, weeds, and trees staying all pretty low for us this time of year. Not a terrible allergy season as it stands now. Charlene, thanks for tuning in. You have a great week. Mary, you're most welcome. Thanks for tuning in. All right, 1 more minute. Can I answer any other questions? David, appreciate seeing you too. All right, I think I can review the forecast one more time. There's some time here. For CapitalWeatherGang.com, I am Camden Walker for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. Go directly to my PM update at CWG.news/latest. Stray shower really is all we're talking about, possible for Monday and Tuesday. Dry for Wednesday and Thursday, it looks like. And maybe some showers moving in again on Friday and Saturday, but we've got some comfort in the middle of the part of the week. Could be near or above 70. And wind is coming down tomorrow from 30 mile per hour gusts today to merely 20 mile per hour gusts tomorrow. So that should be, less wind chill than we experienced today, even if we see similar temperatures that we saw today, we should see them tomorrow as well. Aaron, thanks for tuning in from YouTube. You have a great week as well. Look forward to seeing you, Paul, as well. Thanks for tuning in. Ruth Elisa, too early to talk about Halloween just yet. I don't think there's a major signal for it being a washout at this point. Karen, you're most welcome. And here, temperatures again, focus on that warming. If you want 70 degrees, focus on Wednesday, Thursday. I think Thursday could be our nicest week with the blue shading clouds here clearing out for maybe most, if not all, of the day on Thursday. So that could be our nice day stamp potentially on Thursday. And precipitation behind falling from these clouds, little to none. Stray shower Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday should be dry. Showers again Friday, Saturday. All right, I will sign off and leave it there. I think I've covered everything for you. I will see you next Sunday for a weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com signing off. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Have a really good work week and bye for now.